one other kind of area of shiny new things, which is alcohol-free and low-alcohol drinks.
So I have no problem with them being there at all, but I don't consider them to be part of any solution that we might have to tackling this problem.
We absolutely need to differentiate what is a no alcohol product from a low alcohol product. And as with units, it's different in every country. And so consequently in the United States, you can call something no alcohol, which contains 0.5% alcohol. In the UK, it's 0.05%.
My real concern is that this is being presented as a solution. It's being presented as a solution by the industry because they know that they can continue to market their products. By putting 0.0 on it in Ireland, it's meant that we've still been exposed to brand placement and marketing, which normalises alcohol products. And I think that that is the problem.
Do they offer some benefits? I mean, and are there risks as well?
So I'm not saying that they shouldn't be there, but they're not going to be a solution for us. And I don't think that we, in policy, should be getting anywhere near involved with marketing these products. They are perfectly capable of marketing the products on their own. They don't need our help. And actually, it is being sold as a solution. And I just don't make that connection with it.
From a liver point of view, it is probably helpful to be drinking something that is substantially less. But actually, from a brain point of view, there is a huge difference between whether something has 0 alcohol in it or whether it's got some alcohol in it. Patients that I see, which are often the patients that you see as well, I would say there is no evidence. But I would also say the thing to do is to probably, for people who've said, well, what do you think about this? I have to say, I see patients for whom this is the absolute solution, unless they're on a liver transplant list. And despite the fact that there's no evidence, they're not allowed to drink them. I think that's a separate question. And for other patients, actually, it has just been a cue and a trigger to go back to full-blown drinking.
One of the key things we know about those products is they're mostly being drunk by people from higher socioeconomic groups, better off people. And as we've talked about, the harm is predominantly concentrated in lower socioeconomic groups. So if there is any benefits from these products, is one of the things public health professionals, policy should be trying to do is making sure there's take-up of them in lower socioeconomic groups, or trying to make sure they're more affordable to lower socioeconomic groups.
Like, again, I don't think we should be getting involved with industry. I think industry is perfectly capable of marketing their products on their own, and they aren't affordable.
But industry won't necessarily do that bit that we care about in public health.
But I don't think they'll do that bit if we push them to do it, unless it's regulated and they have to do it. They will pretend to do it as a voluntary thing, which we all know doesn't work at all. And I think that the risk of harm for me is greater than the benefits. And don't get me wrong, I've spoken to some people who've, successfully used them as an aid to help them to stop drinking, or to feel that they're still socially acceptable in a group when they're not drinking. So I'm not saying there isn't a place for individuals, but I think if we think about it at a population level, I just think, it's David and Goliath. We are battling with the industry.
Norway have regulations that the alcohol-free version does not have the same name as the mainstream brand, does not have the same branding, does not have the same logo. I think that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense in getting around the alibi marketing problem that we've had of zero brands being able to be advertised. And I think it also gets a bit round the behavioural thing for individuals, that this feels very close to drinking the master brand, if you like.
I think we've got a responsibility to continue to say the things that will make the greatest difference, and not getting involved in the peripheral bits that allow the industry to delay the things that make the greatest difference.
I often ask patients who are in early recovery, who are interested in exploring this, to go and do a little experiment, come back and tell me how it is, and to support them through that. And if they're finding themselves, that they can have a single drink, or chap was telling me, they can go off to a barbecue with their own 0 alcohol beer, and they can then pour it themselves. They look like everyone else. They feel they're socially inclusive. They will just drink one over the course of the day. Whereas for other people, actually, they're on their 5th can of an evening and they're trying to suck something out of it that is absolutely not in there. And I say to them, this is your brain saying to you, smells like alcohol, looks like alcohol, tastes like alcohol, but where is the alcohol? Just keeps it clear of them.
The industry has a duty to their shareholders around profit. So they are focused on how can we increase profit. So they're not wanting to replace our alcohol consumption with no and low. They're actually wanting to replace our drink of Diet Coke or our, you know, other thing with no and low.
The first thing we absolutely have to do is separate no alcohol products and low alcohol products, because we're just feeding into the industry to say NoLo. And what we're including in that is then it will be everything under 2.5%. And then we will move to, like we did with Philadelphia cheese, anything that isn't full fat, 8% beer is suddenly low alcohol beer at 6%.